can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Anything you can be, I can be greater. Sooner or later, I'm greater than you.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I can shoot a partridge with a single cartridge.
I can shoot a sparrow with a bow and arrow.
I can live on bread and cheese.
And only on that.
Yes.
So can a rat.
Anything you can sing, I can sing higher.
I can sing anything higher than you.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
How's it going, guys? This is Travis Toivonen, Red Wing High School graduate of 2016, and I am here to talk to you about the petty coworker. So even after bouncing around a few NFL teams, the experiences there were very professional, but the biggest issues I ran into with a coworker slash teammate was in college. When I was at the University of North Dakota, I was playing football there, and on football teams, it's very difficult to kind of navigate certain situations just because you have so many teammates. And it's kind of just this constant battle of trying to bring guys along with you and trying to lead in different ways. But there's so many people, so each interaction is different with each player. But in specifics, in my position group, so I play wide receiver, and each position group has about 10 to 15 guys. So I think there are about 13 wide receivers. And for the most part, everyone was being accountable. Everyone was on time to everything except one guy. And this guy had constant issues. So he was showing up late to workout. Sometimes he just wouldn't even show up. He was missing classes, getting bad grades. And it was kind of a bunch of times where we would try to hold him accountable. Our coaches would say stuff. We would be getting punished. And he kept saying, yep, like, I'm going to change. I'm going to do this. And things never really changed with him.
Thank you, Travis. A classic teaser for you. You have to stick around to hear the rest of his story. First, however, we're going to move over to Pastor Bill, who's going to talk about two petty co-workers named James and John.
Matthew, the 10th chapter, we find two of Jesus' disciples being kind of petty. They're James and John. They came to Jesus in this 10th chapter of Mark, starting at the 35th verse, and they said, "We want you to do for us whatever we ask." And Jesus says, "Well, what do you want me to do? Let one of us sit at your right side and the other at your left in glory." They're showing impatience. They want it now. They don't want to wait for later. They believe in Jesus, and they believe that he's going to be in his glory and in his kingdom, and they don't want to wait. They want their request now. There's these unrealistic expectations because they really don't understand what's going to happen as time unfolds. They have an idea what's going to happen, and they want to make sure that they're in on the glory. They're mean-spirited because who are they thinking about? They're thinking about only themselves. They're not thinking about those other disciples at all. Now, Jesus didn't scream at them. Jesus didn't make them feel bad. He didn't make derogatory comments to them, but he was very truthful. So they were still a part of the group. So Jesus welcomed them. Jesus included them. But Jesus was very forthright in explaining to them what they asked was not something that they are going to receive. And in their pettiness and in their desire to have the glory, in their desire for their own glory and for the selfishness that exhibited, Jesus did not ostracize them, but he welcomed them. So how do we deal with that? How do we deal with that one who is a petty coworker, a petty person in our family? Well, first of all, and probably in all of these series we could say, we need to go to God in prayer. As a Christian, we need to ask God to stand with us and give us courage to deal with this coworker, this petty coworker, honestly. And we can tell this person in an honest and a very assertive way, but in a loving way, how their behavior is affecting others and how their behavior even is affecting them. That we can be someone who helps these individuals that are difficult to deal with in our lives, but yet are a part of our lives and a part of this mission that we have as Christians, as Christ calls us to be a servant. That we have an opportunity to deal with this person who is petty in a loving and a caring way. You see, God loves the person who's petty as well as the person who isn't. And we too are to be that servant. To be that servant of God in the midst of this situation that we find ourselves in the midst of living life in a group and in a family where we have someone who is petty, who complains, who puts us down. Someone that we need to show the love of Christ to.
Thank you, Pastor Bill. But that is quite the calling, to lean in when people are being annoying, to speak the truth to people who are being selfish, to love people who are being petty. That is challenging, especially if you're not particularly social to begin with. That is a really difficult thing to live into. But here's the thing, following Jesus is not really meant to be easy. And when it is hard, as I think it is in the calling that Pastor Bill sets before us today, well, then we have people like Travis we can look to for inspiration.
So the ways that I kind of navigated that situation were to kind of realize that when there's problems with someone else, a lot of times the solutions start with ourselves. So I kind of went through different ways on how I could help this person. So one of the things I did is I would call him every morning before workouts just to make sure he was awake, just because I know that I can keep myself accountable, and if he's struggling this much to kind of like wake himself up and get to things on time, if he's going to have that second reinforcement, like if I'm calling him every morning to wake him up and he's expecting that, even if he doesn't want me to, but now he sees I'm calling him and he knows that he's leaving me and my teammates hanging if he doesn't show up, it kind of just adds that reinforcement. And then another thing that the coaches started doing was when we would get punished, they wouldn't punish him. They would just punish the rest of the team. And I'm not saying punishment is always the best thing, but in that sporting environment, a lot of times when you make guys run, when you make guys do stuff, and the guy who's actually in trouble doesn't have to do any of it, and he just has to watch his teammates do it, it kind of makes something click in their brain. But like I was saying, I think the solution always kind of starts with yourself. So you got to kind of figure out what you can do to help your coworkers or to kind of change the situation. And a lot of that is just being confident in your own decision making, because a lot of times if you're a leader or just being around your peers, if you're having issues and then you start second guessing your own judgment, a lot of times the problem will just build and build and build to a point where the solution just isn't clear anymore. And then the last thing I want to say is that not every problem has a clear-cut solution. And if you're doing everything that you can to help someone or to help a situation, but they're not willing to help themselves, sometimes you just have to accept that I've done everything that I can, I'm doing my best, but if I keep going in a way where I'm just gonna continue to stress myself out and continue to put all of this effort and energy into something that's clearly not going to change, sometimes you just have to maybe take a step back and say, hey, I need to do what's best for me, need to do what's best for the rest of the team. And however that looks with navigating the situation with that other person, sometimes you just have to let it go as is and maybe give it to someone who's in a bigger position of authority, or talk to someone else about it, or kind of make it a group effort where all of that stress and burden is not on yourself.
Thank you, Travis. Thank you, Pastor Bill. Now it is time for us to stop talking and for you to turn to each other and have meaningful conversation about things that matter.
Can sing, I can sing sweeter.
I can sing anything sweeter than you.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.